Man, she's pretty. Look at that. There's another frame right next door that she's filling up. So, and we'll see how it works out. Gonna pretty much, dang it. They are after me. We're trying to fix this right here. These bees are off the chain. Not fun when you have bees like this. All right, it's March 8th and I don't have a lot of time to really explain and do a long video today, but we have Ray over here. Ray's helped me out in the past some. We had a strong triple deep here. We got brood in that box, brood in that box, and we're looking for brood in the bottom box, and we're pulling splits. We're gonna put some cells in them. So as you can see, we've got these 3 boxes broken out. We know the queen's in here. If we didn't know where she was, we'd shake all the bees in that bottom box, put a queen excluder over it, then put these other 2 boxes on, let them move back up, and then pull the splits. Since we know the queen is on this frame right here, let's see if we can find her. I want to mark her because she's not marked. There she is, right there.
Right there.
Right there she is, right there in the corner. See right here?
Right there. Yep.
Okay. So kind of lay this on the corner right here, Ray, and I'm gonna grab her. If you could film me marking her.
Okay. Make sure
she's a real pretty queen, and obviously she's doing a great job. Just set it right there on the edge. Go and make sure this thing is working. Okay, now we're gonna grab the queen. The bees are tending to her real nice. She's a beautiful queen. Look how pretty she is.
Yep.
Grab her here by the wings. What I want to do is grab her on the side of her legs. Right there. Now I'm pretty sure she's a last year's queen, so I'm gonna mark her with this red marker. I don't think she's from this year. If she was this year, it should be green. I've got a green marker somewhere, I just don't have it with me, but most of the old queens we find, I'm marking them red so we know they're from last year. So I'm gonna take her over here. We're just gonna set her in this bottom box right here. And let her go down there and get busy. Now we didn't see a lot of brood. There she is.
Yep, there.
You see her? Okay, so we got the queen in the bottom box now. There wasn't a lot of brood in this bottom box, but there's plenty of place for her to lay. Lots of bees, so she should be fine in there. We're just gonna take these top 2 boxes right here, and we're just gonna drop them a little ways off in the yard, and we'll drop queen cells in them, and we'll have 2 splits right here just like that. Like I was saying before, if we didn't know where the queen was because of all these bees, we could try and shake all the bees down into that bottom box, or even put another box on top, an empty box, and shake them all in there. Drop a queen excluder, and then put all these frames of brood above them, and these bees that move up, and the queen would be below. Then we can still pull them later. But since we found the queen, we can just pull these splits right now. Let's just drop this frame in here. And Ray, could we just take that box and set it on the bottom board over there? Just either one of these bottom boards that we got a bottom board on. Set it right here will be fine. Just like that. A lot of these nurse bees, a lot of the foragers, if there's foragers in this box, will fly back to the original hive. So it's gonna be totally packed out with bees. We may need to add another box on there just to give them some room. But that's all we do. And then we're gonna grab that other box and do the same thing. Put a lid on there, and that's our split. Tomorrow I've got cells coming in. We'll drop a cell in each of those colonies, and hopefully they'll get mated and create a nice hive. The bees are starting to fan. I think they're starting to realize they're queenless right now. There's Ray getting the lid on there. Now there are a lot of bees in there, but many of them will go back to the original donor colony, probably, so that's okay. We'd like to have nurse bees in there anyway as much as possible to help accept those cells better we put in there tomorrow. And then we got the lid on this one and put it right here. And over here is the donor colony. I went ahead and just added another box on here because there are gonna be plenty of bees. The queen's in here. I anticipate they'll fill this thing up really quickly. I put a fair amount of drawn comb in the middle, all drawn comb from dead outs from last year. And then we got some new frames on the outside. So we're gonna slap the lid on there, and that one's done. So just like that, we have 1 hive into 3. All right, still no mic on here, no fancy mic. I'm just using the phone here, but there's Ray right there. So we got some splits made. We got one down there, one right here. We got a queen excluder on this one. The bees are working their way back up, and we'll pull this top box off in a little bit whenever they've worked their way back up and move it over for a cell. We've got a split here. We put a split in the horizontal hive. The other hive in there was real anemic and looking weak, and we cleaned that thing out. It had some moisture issues, so hopefully we fix that. But we'll put a queen cell in there. We'll put a split in there. Got a split here and a split here so far. And this thing was so populated, I just put another box on here, and we'll let them work up in there and see if they can build that out. If not right away, we'll pull that top box off. But for now, we'll just leave it on there. So far we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 splits done, and a couple more, 1 or 2 more in process. Here's one of our beautiful queens from last year. She's doing a great job. Look at that brood pattern. Let's don't let her get off of there. Man, look at her. Isn't she pretty? She's right here. Man, she's pretty. Look at that. There's another frame right next door that she's filling up. So I'm gonna drop her down below, and we're gonna pull a split off of here. Okay, we're out here underneath the cell tower here in Newton, and we're just pulling as many splits as we can out here. Some of these were pretty large hives that we've split. If we find the queen, fine, we shake her down, and we're gonna put a queen cell in the queenless one. A couple of them were so weak and spotty brood pattern, we went ahead and split them a lot of bees, and we'll just drop a queen cell in both and let the bees figure it out. If the old queen is failing, the virgin queen might replace her, and if not, then the old queen will win that battle and hopefully grow back strong. But we got a lot of queen cells to figure out places for us, so we're just kind of doing whatever we feel like we need to get this job done. We've already made a few splits, and we're gonna hopefully get all these pallets full of bees by the end of the day. All right, we're our last spot today here at Midland City. You can see the bees are super busy. Gonna break splits out of these. We got 16 here. We'll just take whatever we can. We got blackberries blooming, starting to bloom a little bit. It's about to be game on. You see everything's starting to turn green. We're trying to fix this right here. These bees are off the chain. Not fun when you have bees like this. This is probably the meanest hive I have right here, and they are letting me have it. They might be queenless. I can't find a queen anywhere. So I'm gonna throw a new queen cell in there, and maybe they'll fix themselves. Maybe they'll die out. Either way, I'm okay with it. Woo, we got that done. The bees are feisty. You can see it's getting cloudy. We got some rain moving in here very soon. So we ended up pulling 7 splits, but we did a lot of the, what I call double splits, where you just take the boxes blindly. We'll drop cells in both of them. Ray, what'd you think, man?
Good.
It's good? I'm gonna tell you something. Ray is a Marine, and he's tough, man. They make him tough, and he's just tough as nails. It's hard work. We got it done. It took us really all day. And but we got enough spots now for 57 queen cells. We'll get them in here, just kind of leave them alone for a while and see what happens. Things are starting to bloom. Hopefully by the time these queens are laying and hitting their stride, we will have a lot of nectar coming in and be able to make a nice honey crop. At least that's my hope. I really appreciate it, Ray.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man.
Have a good day.
Well, it's March 9th, the next day, and things are a little bit more sane today. So I actually have my mic on here, you see. You could probably hear me a little better. And the bees are right back over my shoulder there. We're gonna introduce the queen cells to them now. I had to go ahead and put my bee jacket on. They've already started getting after me. I'm just a few feet away from them. Got popped in the middle of the nose already. I thought I'd show you real quick before we got started how I transported these cells today. It's just a regular incubator. I got at Tractor Supply Company a few years ago. And I have an inverter here that plugs into the cigarette lighter right there, and then into the incubator here. I just bought this morning, actually. It's got an attachment for a battery as well if you want to do that, but this worked perfectly well. I've kept the temperature somewhere around 90 degrees, give or take a degree or two, but you want to keep it around that temperature. Low 90s I think is perfect for cell transport. Now she had a few extras. I placed some in Slocum and Applin Farms, just in some colonies that were a little weak. I figured why not, just give it a shot. I didn't really need them up here, so these are the ones that I'm going to place in these splits that we made yesterday. You'll see here we have a little foam. I think it's like 1-inch foam from somewhere. Another queen breeder I bought cells from made that one time when I bought some cells, and so I just continue to use it. He just basically dug out some spots for the cells here, and you just let them in there and they ride very nicely. Got a damp rag in here just to help with the moisture. Now here's another way to transport cells. This is actually from the lady I got the cells from. Basically, they just cut little pieces of wood the right width. I haven't measured, I don't know what that is, but political signs, cut them in little sections, and you just set the cells in there like that. It's a little bit flexible for the cells if it needs to be. It works really well. You got just black electrical tape wrapped around it. So all kinds of ways to do things. Let me explain real quickly again how we made these splits out here yesterday. Did some unique things. I think you'll find it interesting, and many of you may think it's absolutely crazy, and maybe it is, but I've done it before and it's worked. As Greg Burns says, there are no absolutes in beekeeping, or at least very few. So if you look right here, this colony says QR, 38QR. That means that this was actually one that we found the queen in. She is in this box. We pulled the split over, I think, and put it on that pallet right there. And then we'll add a cell in there. That was an easy one. That makes a lot of sense, I think, to me and everybody else. But a lot of these out here were what I like to call blind splits. And we did that on this colony right here. So basically, this colony had, I think, 4 boxes stacked up, either deep in 3 mediums or 2 mediums and a deep in different kinds of configurations. I don't have to go into those details here, but what we do is we go in, you kind of scan for the queen on the frames as you're going through, and you make sure that there's brood in both colonies. What happened in many of these out here is there was like honey in the top box, and that second box down from the top, even if there were 4 boxes, would start having some brood in it. And so I simply pulled the 2 boxes, I think it was the top 2 boxes off, and set it over here on this pallet. Never found the queen. I don't know where the queen is. We're going to drop a cell in both colonies that are a result of that split. Theoretically, of course, the queenless colony will allow the virgin to emerge, hopefully get her mated and have a nice, vibrant young queen. And whichever colony has the queen in it, they'll just have to figure it out. This is something that a lot of people may think is absolutely crazy. I've done it before. It seemed to work well. This is going to be a Mike Berry comment here. This is what I'm doing and not how to do it. So what I'm going to do now is show you how we introduce a couple of these cells in these colonies, and then I got to hit it hard. I got 57 cells I need to get placed. So orange cell protector. There's many different kinds of these. Some I think just have the spikes on one side, some are different colors. But the idea is that you put the cell in this thing like that, and that way it gives the little virgin queen a chance of escaping before the other bees have a chance to break the cell down. Honestly, most of the cells I've introduced over the years, I just put in without a protector, but I think it's a good idea to use these cell protectors. So I've heard they're recommended, and so I'm going to use them today. So I expect the bees to be a little feisty because it's a little cloudy again today. It's not raining. The rain has passed through. Man, we had some crazy rain last night. Just water everywhere. And these splits that I pulled away from the original spots, I expect to be a little weak as well because the foragers have probably gone home. But we have more than enough bees in here to get these cells mated and accepted, I believe. And then we got brood in all these colonies too. So, you know, you can just stick the cell on the very top. Yikes. These are a couple of old kind of beat up boxes. Probably not the best one to show you first. But you see we got us a pretty good little population of bees down here. And what I'm going to do, I can see some brood down in there. This was obviously the top 2 boxes from another colony here. And so there's going to be quite a bit of food up here. A little tiny patch of brood, I think, on this one, but it ought to be enough. So you can just basically take the cell, stick it in the comb right here. The brood is on the next frame over, I believe. Set it down in there like this, and then put the frames together. And the little cell protector protects the cell from the brood, you know, mashing it too hard, which usually isn't a problem. And also it protects you from those bees until it emerges. These cells are expected to emerge this afternoon. I got the box there. So that's all there is to it. Very quick and easy. I'm going to write today's date, which is 3/9. We put a cell in there. Got mostly food in this top box. They look pretty calm. Let me see if we got a little brood up here. If so, we can just put it right here, but I think the brood is in the next box down. Oh yeah, well, we'll just put it right here in this top box. Plenty of brood up here. Actually, it's a good idea if you create a little more space. Let me do that. Move it over like this. So we got the cell right here. Put it in the cell protector. This is down that way, so I'm going to put it right here, like this. And as long as the bottom is in the cell protector, I think it's okay. This cell is actually a little bit fat at the top, so, but we're just going to set it in there like that. It's right here. We're going to push it against the next frame. That helps hold it in place. Then, of course, we'll get our other frames put in place, and we're done. I got 55 more to go. I better get on it. Another task completed, 57 queen cells placed in these colonies, and we'll see how it works out. Gonna pretty much, dang it. They are after me. Dang it. They are after me. Gonna pretty much leave them alone for about 2 or 3 weeks and then check back. I think that's enough for now. If you'd like to see the video where we made the early splits with the Hawaiian queens, you can watch that video right here. If you want to see the video where we checked on queen acceptance, you can watch it right here. If you want to see me put those bees in 10 frame boxes, you can watch it right here. I'm out of here. They're getting after me. Catch y'all later.